experience. This is my second time holding the mic, so there's that. I did about 8 minutes at Kelly's, longer than some of you men. I know. I fucking love it though. This is like therapy for me. Like getting up here, having a voice, it's awesome. So thank you for being here. Thank you for my fan club. I don't know how to pick them up. I've done 8 minutes. So a little bit about me. I'm a Capricorn, very neurotic. Neurotic, not neurotic. Yeah, I see you guys. I'm a lefty, in case that matters. And I just turned 40 this year. Big banner year, right? Yeah, big. And a lot of people get scared by aging, right? There's just so much stigma. You're hitting a banner year. I fucking love it. I turned 40 in January, and the day of my birth, all the fucks that I had left to give just blew away in the breeze like little birds. Note to self, work on your bird calls. Does anyone do bird calls as a hobby? Anyone helping? What you got? Give me something. Oh, he's scared. He doesn't want the mic. Okay. All right. Next time. No, so aging, I think it's something to celebrate. I know a lot of people get freaked out by aging, but it's denied to so many, and it's something we should enjoy. And there's ways to be able to age gracefully. We don't have to be afraid of it. And the way to start that process is to turn off your damn TV. Anybody doing that trend? Get rid of TV? So there's 2 reasons. I could talk about exercise and having time to move around, but it's not something that I do, so I'm not going to do that. I don't want to lead you astray, but I hear that's good. But no, the reason it's good to turn off your TV, 2 reasons. The news, you can avoid it. The news is psychotic right now if you haven't been alive for the last, 30 years. And really, there's nothing good that comes out of it. We see these people in Washington, D.C. that are making our lives, and they're falling apart on live TV. So that's kind of scary to watch. But more so, the second thing you get rid of is commercials. I didn't really pay attention to this as like a kid growing up. We're just used to commercials. But when you start to think about it, it's an entire industry set to let you know how decrepit you are and how you're getting grosser by the day, right? And you just learn, all the spots you need to look for fine lines and, things going wrong with your body, and you start to take that in because #capitalism. They can't sell you something if you're not afraid of yourself. Yep. So you turn off the TV and you keep it off, and then you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, okay. It's fun, you gotta try it. But there are some things, doesn't matter what kind of mindset you have, aging happens to us all, even if you're J-Lo. You're doing this mundane task, it's some benign thing, and suddenly this time it cripples you. Anyone have that? We got the right crowd for this. So I was doing makeup last week, and I must have turned my neck about 1 degree more than usual because everything broke. I felt like I was in a 4-car accident, and it just, I screamed, and my son was like, the hell, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And the irony is, for the next 3 days trying to drive and not kill myself, I felt like I was going to cause a 4-car accident. Turning 40 this year, my cousin also turned 40, so we planned this girls' trip. It was going to be epic. We're going to dance, we're going to get our drink on, we're going to get our smoke on, we're going to go crazy in Puerto Rico. It's us, our 2 little sisters. And I knew it was going to be a different trip when we got there, and the first 10 minutes together was discussing all the medications we brought and doing tradesies to see who had better ones. we had heartburn, Tums, all of it covered. This shirt is actually from that trip. My cousin made it for me, straight out of my 30s. I wore it to bed last night, and then this morning realized that would have looked really cute up there with, what you're talking about. And then I realized none of this matters, none of this is real, so I'm just gonna wear it anyway, so recycle wearing. You're welcome. But so back to the trip, not only do we have medications, we have hangover cure kits. My cousin thought of everything. She had these packets, and there was, charcoal and aspirin and eye masks and all these things. And it had me thinking back to in my 20s. And when you're 20s, you don't plan ahead when you're drinking. You party and you find a surface to lay on after, and that's about it. That's all you got. Hopefully it's a bed, a couch, maybe the floor. If it's a really bad night, the floor next to the toilet. And I think about, how that has changed over the year. Now it's like I need 3 pillows. One's got to be at 47 degrees. it better be 62.5 degrees in the room, and this one leg's got to be out getting air, and the rest of me's covered, or I'm not sleeping. I see others are in the agreement. So that's me, and then you've got my boyfriend, who we climb into bed, and he starts talking and starts snoring mid-sentence. And I just sit there sometimes, especially on a rough night, and I'm like, this motherfucker. My kids get me up for 30 hours straight, and he is snoring his face off. But he gives me a gift every time he falls asleep before me, and that is that he talks in his sleep more than anyone I've ever heard, and it's batshit crazy. He not only talks in his sleep, he gets very indignant if I'm not following along with what he's saying and not keeping up. And it's crazy. It's stuff like, Bigfoot is hiding behind the pine tree. I don't know what's so difficult to understand about this. Excuse me? One of the more recent ones, he looks at me and he's, half asleep, he's in that theta state, and he goes, we were talking about sexy pirates, were we not? We were not. I'm just making the popcorn. The worst one, this one gets a little weird, I'm going to tell you that in front. He goes, I was playing tetherball with children. It's worse than it sounds. Took me a while too. Yeah, that was a disturbing one. Thank you. She's got my back. So Sean is not the only weird sleep situation though. Before I had a kid, I used to be a sleepwalker. And my ex, God bless him, he really dealt with it for a long time, enough that he never got weirded out by it. He was not surprised. One time he woke up and I was over him with a hand towel stretched out taut over his head. And all he said was, what are you doing? That's how not surprised he was. In my defense, in my dream, the cat had puked on his face and I was cleaning it, so I was helping. But it's better, right? Yeah. None of you would have been able to handle that shit. That's not even the worst story. The one time, he woke up, I wasn't even in the bedroom at this point, and he's like, here we go again. He said he got up and he looks down, we've got this very narrow apartment, big hallway, and it's pitch black because the lights are at the far end. And he starts walking towards me, or towards that direction, and he said he sees, I'm behind a wall, and all of a sudden I just go, but in the pitch black, so creepy, right? Like The Ring, basically. And so he keeps going. I would have turned around, locked the door, and said, fuck this guy. But he keeps going. He's 6'5", so he doesn't care that, I'm psychotic. And he said he walks around the corner to see me, and I'm nose and toes against the wall, arms down, dead asleep, eyes shut, and I look at him, or I turn towards him and just say, I'm so mad at you! And somehow we stayed in the same bed for years after that. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why.